Hello everybody, this is 99 Korea here, and welcome back to some more combat initiation. This time we're going to go over the SuperBall Tree, which means we'll go over the SuperBall, CannonBall, and the Ninja Stars. And before getting into it, wow, the guns video did very well. And so that makes me more motivated to make these videos in the first place. But with all that, let's begin. Starting off,
Baller.
The SuperBall, a primary weapon which you can get at the start of the game or buy it later on. The damage depends on how close you are to the enemy. The lowest it can go is 40 and the highest is 200. Its cooldown is 1.75 seconds and the lifetime, it's infinite if it keeps bouncing, but it will take 7.5 seconds if it doesn't bounce. As it's a primary weapon, it can lifesteal. Sometimes it depends on how close the enemy is as well. The wiki says 10 HP, but I keep getting 1 to 2 HP. If anyone knows how to get 10 HP, let me know. Damage modifiers. There's only one, which is just 200% against noobs. With the SuperBall, you can bounce yourself high by looking at the ground and then throw the ball. But also, there's an alt fire, where you throw your ball up in the air, and it does do damage if it does hit, but this is usually for synergies and reactions. And again, it used the same damage types and cooldowns as the regular throw. And now onto reactions and synergies. So with the SuperBall, you can use all the swords to projectile boost to an enemy, and it can damage up to 500. And if you use the firebrand, you can set them alight and do extra damage. With the guns, you can throw the SuperBall in the air, usually with the alt fire, and then shoot the ball with your gun, and it will go straight for the closest enemy, doing some damage. And as well, you can combo it. And as well, this goes for all guns, even the freeze ray, which can imbue the ball with ice and can freeze the enemies. Now the trowel, also the hammer, if you bounce the SuperBall to the trowel wall, it will directly bounce to the closest enemy, even with some impossible angles. But as well, sometimes it might miss, so throw another one. Next is the grappling hook. Once you throw the SuperBall, if you aim your crosshair to the ball and use the grappling hook, the ball will come straight for you. What you can do is you can throw it above enemies, grappling hook, and then have the ball travel back to you, hitting them from behind. And let's say there's some devastation with this one. Now onto the last one, or at least I want to mention, is the Slate Skin Potion. Once you drink it and equip the SuperBall, if you slam down, you will bounce like you do when you throw the ball below you. If enemies are near and on the ground, you can do a ground pound and will wipe out the enemies near you, and do a lot more damage if they survive. And the special thing about the SuperBall is you can do this multiple times. Every time you do it, you will lose 10 HP of this Slate Skin Potion. So yep, you can bounce multiple times. By the way, the style name is called Baller. So before I get into my own opinion, let's talk about 3 certain enemies. First is the Bobby. If the Bobby hold their shield and you throw a SuperBall at it, it will break it instantly, and as well do a bit of damage. Next is the Killbot. If you throw the ball at it, it will one-shot it and it will fall onto the ground and explode, and everyone's all happy. By the way, all the SuperBall upgrades will do the same thing. And finally, the Mark. Once they show you the counter flash, throw a ball at it where the laser is, and it will do a charge back, aka one-shotting them. This will also give you an achievement. And now onto my own opinion. The SuperBall is quite versatile. It will give you a long-range option. Although you need to arc it, you can still do some pretty good damage, and if it doesn't do enough, it will have quite the knockback when someone gets hit. But sadly, that's what it mostly is, where if you use it by itself, you can't really do much. But also, if you had other weapons, you can do a lot of things. But if we just talk about it by itself, its inconsistent damage heavily relies on other synergies for the most value, and also the cooldown is quite long for a primary weapon, and it's all high chance you have the SuperBall because you want the CannonBall and or the Ninja Stars. Not to say that the SuperBall is useless, it does have its own type of things. The SuperBall throws a lot further than the CannonBall, and the Ninja Stars is just its own thing. Overall, the SuperBall is an okay weapon that heavily relies on other weapons, but its uniqueness does have some value, but in my opinion, I think it's alright. At the end of the day, there's one word perfect for this weapon. Baller. Onto the next weapon. Ya matey. The CannonBall. An upgrade of the SuperBall, and it cost 100 ticks. All it is a heavier SuperBall. Alright, now onto my own opinion. Of course I'm joking. The cannonball's damage does depend on how far away the enemy is, but the lowest it can go is 90 and the highest it can go is 300. Its cooldown is the same as the Super Ball, so 1 minute and 75 seconds. Its range is infinite, it depends on how you throw it, and unlike the Super Ball, it will despawn at 7.5 seconds, so bouncing it will not reset it. Its lifesteal is the same, but again you can pierce a lot more, and you can get a lot more HP. Its damage modifiers is exactly the same as the Super Ball, which is just 200% more damage against noobs. As well, the Cannonball can bounce exactly the same as the Super Ball. And of course the ult fire is the same, just it doesn't throw as far. And now onto reactions and synergies. Of course it's similar to the Super Ball. You can imbue it with fire and ice, but my favourite is the Firebrand, as you can just basically demolish an entire row of enemies. The paintball gun is the same, but the BB gun is different. Instead of the ball going after the enemy, the BB gun shot will. And let's just say it's quite devastating. Of course, the trowel and hammer is the same. The cannonball and the grappling hook is a lot more easier to pull off than the Super Ball. And the slate skin potion, instead of bouncing multiple times, it does one big slam. Just like the original slate skin, is where you get the slam dunk style point. And also you can do this on the Great Darko Bloxers and time them out. And now with enemies, it's mostly the same thing. Cannonball on Bobby's shield, it's a lot more harder to hit the kill bots. And as well, the charge back on Mark still applies here. And now properly, my own opinion. Right, the Cannonball by itself is very limited, just like the Super Ball, but with weapons, it's really good. For being the cheapest weapon in the entire game, if you have the Firebrand or the BB gun, you're gonna go a long way. But if you want to compare the Super Ball to the Cannonball, of course the Cannonball is a lot better when it comes to damage and getting rid of enemies. But the Super Ball can go further, and the Cannonball's better reactions and synergies just makes it just an overall the upgrade for the Super Ball. Because again, that's probably the only Super Ball upgrade that will be similar to the Super Ball. Because the next weapon we're going to talk about is very different than the actual Super Ball and the Cannonball. But overall, if you want to have more punch with your Super Ball, the Cannonball is a great upgrade. Plus again, it's the cheapest upgrade of the entire game, and as well, if you have the Firebrand and BB gun, you're gonna have a great time with it. In other words, you can sail the 7 seas with this weapon. And now onto the last weapon of the video. Now the complicated one, the Ninja Stars. It is an upgrade of the Super Ball, and it costs 200 ticks. The Ninja Star's damage is 100, and it can pierce up to 10 enemies. Its cooldown is 0.2 seconds, its range is infinite, and its lifetime is 7.5 seconds. The Ninja Stars also has an ammo capacity. Its maximum is 15, but every time you throw, it removes 7% of your shurikens, and it will recharge 1% per second. Also, the shurikens have lifesteal. If you're close enough, you can do 2 HP per hit. But that's not all. We also have the magnetic kunai. When thrown, it will stick onto a wall or an enemy. It will do 200 damage if there was an enemy that's been hit, and it will pull all Ninja Stars no matter where they are. But also, this will pull rockets and subspace trip mines if it's in range. Of course, when you throw it at an enemy, it will have no lifesteal, and it will stay doing magnetic things for about 12 seconds. Its range is 498 studs. You could have just made it 500. Once the duration goes, you'll have 1 and a 10th second for you to throw it again. And now onto damage modifiers, and this goes to both the Ninja Stars and the kunai. It deals 150% damage against gunmen and emerald blasters, 140% more damage to marks, and it doesn't tell you on the wiki, but 200% on noobs. And now onto reactions and synergies. For the Ninja Stars, you can imbue it with fire, ice, plasma, and electricity. And with fire, you can do it with both the Firebrand and the Flamethrower. With the trowel and the hammer, you can throw a Ninja Star at the wall, and it will go straight for the closest enemy. And you can use the paintball gun to redirect Ninja Stars to the closest enemy, just like the previous 2 weapons. And as well, if you shoot the kunai with the paintball gun, you can recollect it, and then fire it again immediately. This goes to its upgrades as well. Now with the sentry, you can throw the kunai at it, and it will do more damage, but with less accuracy. And now the final one, for the kunai, if you throw a bomb and let it detonate, it it will do a dual velocity, which basically doubles its damage and doubles its explosion radius. A must-have for bomb users. And if you're wondering about enemies, there's nothing special, sadly. Can't even do the charge back for the marks. And with that, now onto my own opinion. The Ninja Stars is quite good. Instead of damaging one enemy, the Ninja Stars can pierce through 10 and deal a lot of group damage. And as you can throw them very quickly, you can rack up a lot of damage. And with the magnetic kunai, you can place one area where enemies will just get shredded. And it can imbue the Ninja Stars, doing a lot more damage, and or any effects that the imbue has. But also other magnetic things, like rockets and subspace trip mines, can help you in a pinch. And also, you can stick a kunai into, let's say, a giant and shred it, and as well enemies around it, which I would say is the perfect use of the Ninja Stars. But here's the problem. Extremely long cooldown for the shurikens, and you need to know quite a lot how other weapons and game mechanics work to have maximum effectiveness. And what doesn't help that it costs 200 ticks to buy, which saying it's on par with the Firebrand, which in the nicest way, it's just not true. But of course, the Ninja Stars has its benefits, but it's mostly from the kunai, not the Ninja Stars itself. Overall, the Ninja Stars has its benefits. But also, you need a lot of game knowledge to be very effective. But again, if you like it, you like it. I sometimes enjoy it sometimes. And now onto the quote. Weapons from the shadows, all refurbished with the highest tech. State of the art. And yes, the shopkeeper says that. Either way, that's the last weapon and end of the video. And there you have it. 4 down, 3 to go. The next video will be about the bombs, so stay tuned. And before I end the video properly, let me just say, wow. The guns video completely exploded. But again, you might say, it's only 2,000 views and 100 subscribers. But again, compared to what I was originally getting, somewhere around 10 subscribers per videos, this proves my theory of after 1,000 subscribers, YouTube will be a lot easier. And seeing how well the gun video done, this completely proves my point. And so I wonder, how will this video go? Well, I'm gonna have to find out when I upload it. And so, of course, do like, comment, and subscribe. Discord server still in the works. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, have a great time.